Tenable Network Security, creators of Nessus, the world's best vulnerability scanner. Jumpstart your security program today and evaluate Security Center CV, the continuous monitoring solution. For more information, visit them on the web at tenable.com. ProXPN is the leading VPN service offering free accounts, excellent premium features, and an outstanding commitment to privacy and security online. Use the discount code WEEKLY and save 50% off for life. NetSparker, the developers of desktop and cloud-based...
I'm good. Good.
You good?
Yeah.
I think put them together.
I think we're live.
Are we live now? What are we doing?
We are.
We're live now.
Busy lighting cigars and getting ready for the next segment. And
VCL was crashing.
VCL.
VCL. No, it's fine. Let's just go with it. Let's go with it because we're in a time crunch here. Stories of the week. Yay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Excuse me. IoT IP cameras. I'm kind of tired of seeing these articles. I have to kind of get up in my soapbox here for a minute.
Please.
Because...
But I will say this is only going to get worse. We're going to be talking about this for a long time. I'm sorry, Paul.
But for at least the past 10 years or more.
Yep.
We've been able to pick on embedded devices.
Yep.
And then
and that's the thing. It's now IoT. It
Right.
used to be embedded devices.
Right.
Same goddamn thing that we've
Same
been talking
goddamn
about for
thing.
10 years.
You, in the past 15 years, could take an embedded device, what's now called IoT, off the shelf, get it back, and find a vulnerability. Mm-hmm. So when you're posting this stuff, like, we know that this crap is broken, yet every week I see something going, oh my God, hey, look, I hacked another IoT device. I'm like, good for you. Like, we've known we can do this, but I see...
But the problem is that people haven't been listening.
I see... People haven't been listening, but I see very little... I mean, there's the whole Josh Corman, help me out here, initiative.
Yes.
Rugged DevOps, bill of materials.
What is it called? Hey, not Kevin, help us out here. What is all that background noise? Good Lord. Not Kevin, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Because I heard not Kevin say it.
I believe you're referring to I Am the Cavalry.
Yes, thank you. I am the cavalry. Cavalry.
Cavalry.
The cavalry.
And that overlaps with his prior, the rugged software thing for software because like it's going to run forever. But I mean, for folks that have been listening to this show for a long time, we got tired of listening to Twitchy break dumb shit 10 years ago or 9 years ago, right? And
right.
It's somehow new and exciting that people...
Well, it is because there's so many more things that we can break shit on.
Up next, Patch Tuesday.
Well, I think that's a really interesting point.
Hey, guess what? Web applications have SQL injection and cross-site scripting vulnerabilities too.
Wait, no, like WordPress?
Oh, God.
It's an interesting point that we've been talking about this for a very long time because, obviously that you call it embedded before, but now the difference is that these are consumer products, which means they're running our thermostats, they're running our smoke detectors. These are now very public-facing devices versus something generally no one knew about before. So I'm not surprised that we're going to see more and more of these stories, but also the impact could be much greater.
It's true.
Yeah, well,
it still
the great
doesn't.
thing is we can
Jack.
count on this software and these pieces of shit. I mean, IoT devices to be supported through a reasonable lifespan. It's not like Google and Nest would abandon a whole line. Oh shit.
Oh right. Damn.
Oh right. We just. Oh, you bought it from them and we bought them and.
Yeah, this thing sucks.
Fuck you.
We can't integrate this, so goodbye.
Does the Nest really have a microphone in it? I thought I read that this week. I think I was reminded of that. I think it does have.
I know it.
There's a Bluetooth Low Energy?
I know they said that it has Bluetooth Low Energy.
Yeah.
It has allegedly Zigbee, but it's not enabled.
It's not. That's what it was. Zigbee, but it's not enabled yet.
Z-Wave, and they were saying the light sensor.
A light sensor, and I read a microphone, but I don't know if that's really true.
Now, I know it's got some sort of sensor because it's off until you walk by it.
Yes.
Well, it's motion sensor.
It's motion. Yeah,
There's a motion sensor.
Motion light, that type of thing.
Yeah. I've said this before. The most effective home automation system is a wife.
Or child.
Well, you know what's funny?
Oh no, they're not reliable at all.
Well, when they get older, there's a maturity model to that.
I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and he was like, my wife won't let me get a Nest. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, because she knows that I would be on stage in front of people and be like, hey, look what happens when I turn the temperature up really high at my house. And he's like, yeah, no, I would do that.
The funny thing is that we have a home security system controlled by an app. We have the Nest. We have a bunch of other things. And my wife uses the mobile app more often than I do. Mm-hmm. I walk over to the thermostat and go, and she does. And she's like from here to the bar from the Nest.
Oh, I never, yeah. The whole reason I got it so I don't have to get up.
And the alarm system for the house, what does she do? And arms the alarm. What do I do? I'm usually downstairs anyways getting a beer out of the refrigerator, so I go over to the panel and I actually type my PIN in and arm it while I'm at the panel. She uses the mobile apps more than I do.
I don't know.
Which is crazy.
Anyway, that was my somewhat new point on IoT is that
we're getting old.
It's old talking about IoT vulnerabilities.
But you know what? It's only going to get worse.
Job security.
Be prepared. Yeah,
Job security.
Be prepared for us to be talking about this for a lot longer.
What was I going to say? Hacking team lost its license to sell surveillance malware outside of Europe.
But it still has permissions in many of the countries, so they can still
Hacking team is still a thing?
Hacking team apparently is still a thing.
Yep. They have brand new software, brand new agents, I'm told, and they still have pretty good sales, I'm told.
How can the government tell them that they can't sell it outside of the country?
Because you're exporting.
Yeah,
it's exportation.
Export controls. So, well, I mean, if you recall, they sold to some of the most despicable people on the planet.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Most repressive regimes on the planet, and they simply don't care. I don't know. Hey, I think
you've
if
got
you
money,
want this,
great. We'll sell you
I think
stuff.
if you want their new cool stuff, listening to their arrogance, I wouldn't be surprised if you can find their stuff cheaper from whoever hacked them in the first place, and I doubt they actually got them all the way out of their network. So I'm sure it's on a black market somewhere. Why pay retail?
Exactly.
True.
Why pay retail when you can use default credits?
I'm suspecting that Whitney Champion will have some more face palms on this episode.
That's right. Yes. Apparently, last week was the facepalm episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the Jack grunting episode, apparently.
And Reddit lost its warrant canary, not its warranty canary.
Yep.
Because I think I was thinking IoT and maybe thought warranty.
Yep.
Yeah, Reddit lost its warrant canary.
Now, the thing is that allegedly Reddit has lost its warrant canary for a fairly significant period of time. I want to say it was December of last year.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the people are just like, oh, wait, it's gone.
They're just noticing now?
Yeah, and now when queried, they can say we can either confirm or deny.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, of course,
is the whole reason why you have a warrant canary.
Go ahead, Jack.
How many users does Reddit have? So what do we know? Nothing. I mean, we know that they got a warrant, but the value of this
we can
is
surmise.
The developers flow. For example, what are you going to get? Oh, so and so posted this message. Yes, he interacted with so and so. Well, isn't that public in the page?
I agree with Carlos. I like Carlos's assessment.
And we don't know the scope of it. Do we know if all records for 4 months are now sitting in a prosecutor's office, or if it was, an interaction between, 2 or 3 people?
I want to go to Captain Privacy, not Kevin, on this one, because we're kind of dismissing this.
Yes,
but I feel like Captain Privacy might have some more legs on this one.
I mean, it's definitely interesting to see happen, especially to such a very large and public website. And I also found it very interesting that, as Larry pointed out, there's a very large gap of time that they were either not keeping up to date, which I feel like a lot of services and websites are struggling to be very proactive about updating their warrant canaries, thus calling to the question, what is the true value of them? But to Jack's point, what does it actually mean? We're talking about a very public website where users have to understand that what they post is indexed, searched, and can be turned over to law enforcement. But the scope, I think, is the most important part about this. What did they actually get? And then does this continue on? So does Reddit become another way to just suck up information about something, or is this actually about a case? There's just not enough information really to start, pulling out the pitchforks, if you will.
So this thing with intercepting drone traffic, Larry or Carlos, have you looked into either exploiting some drones use an 802.11 link encrypted with WEP and the XB protocol rather?
XB is not a protocol. It's similar to ZigBee. It's 802.15.4.
So it's its own. It's not a protocol. It's a frequency. It refers to a frequency.
It's a protocol, I guess. It's 802.15.4, which is the basis for ZigBee.
Okay. But ZigBee's a protocol.
ZigBee is a protocol. So I guess it's a protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
And hacking a drone's very, very simple.
Mm.
I've done it by accident, actually.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let's say if you go with DJI, you install the DJI Go app in your cell phone. You just
on the modern stuff. Yep.
Yeah, you just go close enough to the person that is flying the drone. Default password is 12341234.
Yep.
Nobody changes it. Now you have control of the drone. You can make it land. You can change its position. You can do whatever you want with it via your app. And it won't even tell the person that two people are right now looking at the data in the screen.
Yep. So the DJI stuff uses WPA pre-shared key, but with a default set of credentials.
I gotcha.
Yep. And if you go, let's say, with 3DR, with all of their old stuff, in the case of 3DR, 3D Robotics, all of their stuff tended to run either in 433 megahertz or 900 megahertz, and it's a default modem. Nothing is encrypted. Mm-hmm. It uses the Protocol map link. It uses a default ID on the radios, depending on from where you buy the radios, either direct from them or from China. If you buy them direct from them, you can actually change that radio ID. If you buy them from China, it comes pre-cooked with the default one, like what happened to me. My buddy and I, we were flying Pixhawks and APM quadcopters. All of a sudden, I decided to boot up my laptop. I brought in my radio. It says MAFLink link connected. I decided to change some parameters, and what I did not knew was that I was connecting to my buddy's quadcopter, and I changed his PIDs and flight modes on his quadcopter, not on mine.
Oh, was it flying at the time?
He was about to take off.
Oh no.
So what happened was he flipped and broke an arm out of his quad, and all of a sudden I see signal loss after he crashes, and go like, oh.
Oops.
The actual software tells me mode change, arm. I'm like, why is my quadcopter's not arming? My control's off. And then I see it moving and taking off, and go like, oh, wait. Ooh.
So not
sorry,
Kevin.
Jose.
What's the actual cost to give each device a unique password, like hardware-wise?
In the case of quadcopters, not much. In fact, you can actually buy. In the case of 3DR, the thing is that each vendor decided to do their own thing. Mm. There's no standard. So,
right.
And when you go into the forums, everybody says, we don't care. Nobody has done anything against us. We don't need to do it. Now, there are some paranoid people. If you go into the DIY, DIYdrone.org or .com, I think it's the page, you go in, and there are several forum posts where they talk about buying some radios that actually do implement encryption that let you put password and change IDs. But we're talking about $300, $400 in telemetry radios, so you can control your quadcopter several kilometers, not via your remote control, but via computer.
It frustrates me because it brings up the problem of usability versus security.
Yep. And they want everybody to have this be really usable. So click, turn it on, and it works.
And the other thing is
even in the more advanced hobbyist markets, like
and even if the advanced ones, if you want to crash your quadcopter, for sure, fly it close to a school or to a very populated area with a lot of Wi-Fi. Everything uses 2.4 gigahertz frequency hopping, and even though it's doing frequency hopping, you will see some weird shit happen to your quadcopter, and you go like, why is it diving at full speed?
Why is the ground so close?
That's cool.
Now, so Carlos, my understanding, at least with the DJI stuff, is that The Wi-Fi is only used for video and that type of stuff, but it uses another frequency range to do the actual control.
Right.
However, if you can gain access to the Wi-Fi network, all of the networking enables control of the copter. As in, firewall that shit. Like, don't allow access to your control over the Wi-Fi network because that's supposed to only be for video.
It's a feature.
It's feature.
You can actually change it. What I would do if I were DJI, I would say, first time you log in, you put your 1234, 1234, and it says, okay, now let's change it.
Yep.
And it provides you the UI to change it, and you change that. And if the person tries to do something foolish, like enter 1234, 1234 again, don't let them. Also, if your controller all of a sudden sees, hey, I'm seeing now a phone, an iPad, and another tablet, let me put a warning on all of the screens saying we have another device.
3
Right.
devices connected.
Did you guys see the article where the architect of the Great Firewall of China was giving a talk and a demonstration and was blocked from going to a web page by his own firewall and then used a VPN to try and access Facebook and something else? Nice. Yeah, he tried to bypass the firewall installed on his computer. The same tool secretly installed by millions of Chinese to get around censorship efforts. He then ended up resorted to using Baidu, right? Was that
Baidu, yep.
Baidu, to grab a screenshot of the Google homepage to continue with his talk. The question and answer session of his talk was abruptly canceled. Reportedly, the Great Firewall of China has been tuned up to obscure this Panama Papers.
Uh-huh.
So apparently, some of the wealthiest families in China reportedly were hiding their wealth in Panamanian banks.
Yep.
And they were trying to hide that.
Which is a haven for
Yeah.
all that type of stuff.
To get around taxes.
Yep. Which is ironic because I have a story in there that allegedly this whole Panama incident
Yeah.
was brought about by some poorly patched WordPress and Drupal servers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and so they hacked in the servers in Panama to leak who's been hiding money there?
I don't know exactly how it happens, but wherever the information came from, my understanding was that it was initially because of a WordPress server that got hacked.
Interesting.
Because I know you love WordPress.
I do. Well, I mean, you can hide.
Yeah, the story is
Jack.
evolving because originally they said it was disgruntled insider, and then now the latest is that it's WordPress, and it was some people are questioning how you can exfil 2.6 terabytes of data without anybody noticing. It's
Easily.
Easily, that's even if it's not network. My observation is 2.6. That's what half a dozen half terabyte micro SD cards. Those fit in. They don't even take up room in your pocket, right?
I was gonna say, they fit in your butt real easy.
Go ahead, Carlos.
One of my favorite ones were when they were trying to destroy evidence, and what they did is that you can actually. They say destroy all documents. Oh no, we'll send Pedro over to the Vegas office, and he took all of the documents and everything. Yes, we're removing all traces, but you're sending everything via email, and you're not deleting those emails.
Right.
So you just send an email about destroying all emails, but that was left untouched.
Yep, that very much reminds me of a Johnny Long talk about many years ago about going in and teaching officers how to do evidence gathering in digital forensics cases, and he's talking about how easy it becomes to hide some of this media, and that we're talking about hard drives, and those are hard to harder to hide, and then he was hiding micro SD cards under cornflakes, and it's like you might actually miss micro SD cards somewhere.
Not Kevin. I was just reading one of your stories that really hits home after I spent an hour in a TSA line coming back from Orlando because it was the most ridiculous setup that I've ever seen in TSA. They had 5 or 6 individual lines.
You must have been in Orlando.
Yeah, and they all fed into one line, and then that line went from left to right and looped around. So if you were in the line all the way on the left, like I was, you got to the front of the line and they checked your ID and you're good. to get from left to right, they were letting people in front of you in the other 5 lines that were on the right. So, like, I literally stood there for, like, 20 minutes as, like, all these people were just walking in front of me until they finally figured out to, like, wait and let the people who were already to the left progress to the right and then get, like, around the first little maze to get your piece of cheese kind of thing.
But did you feel safer?
No, I was like, these people are complete morons. It does not take a whole lot of intelligence to figure out that this is completely inefficient. I felt really bad for people with families. I was traveling by myself, so I was like, whatever. I had time. I left time because some people had told me, like, this Orlando is fucking terrible.
Unless you have pre-check.
Yeah, TSA Orlando is one of the worst in the country and always is. It's just horrible.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yep, pre-check for the win there. That's
Mental
for sure.
note, get
Oh
TSA
God,
pre.
and I have to go there in June.
Pre-check, get it.
Well, getting in isn't bad, Carlos. It's getting out. That's
Yeah, pre-check, get it.
So,
seriously.
Pre-check. Okay.
Kevin.
Or global entry.
Kevin, you're reporting from an article you found on the internet that TSA spent $1.4 million on an app that tells you to go right or left when clearly they don't know the difference between right or left.
Well, I guess the idea behind the app is to help randomize who gets to go into either the pre-check line or the normal line. Pre-check being you don't get to take off your belt and all that fun stuff, and normal being for the people who want to get yelled at a lot. But so if you've been in an airport recently, you've probably seen a TSA employee who has a kind of a tablet like strapped to their chest, and it flips an arrow going back, left, and right. And so the article is discussing that the TSA spent $1.4 million with IBM to develop an application that makes an arrow go left or right randomly.
Now, I heard various figures that I heard the 1.4 million, then I heard in the same article 2 other figures. So I don't know whether they were just making fun of them or it was really $300,000 or $400,000.
So wait, hold on. Let me put this in context.
But still, $300,000.
No, okay, put this in context. I stole JavaScript from the internet that randomly swaps out a banner ad for free. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Free.
Yes,
Works great. Great.
Apparently the financials broke down. It was a total contract of 1.4, but what that actually means is unknown. The individual line item for the app was around $300,000. So they're assuming there's a whole lot of either fluff, training of how to use an app that goes left and right. It's fairly unclear at this point, but the total value was 1.4.
Graphic designers to create the arrow icons.
Hey, for $300,000, I could have created them a website based off the JavaScript that rotates ads out that randomized an arrow left to right.
I will say in enterprise projects, I have worked on one where I had 3 layers of management above me for 2 developers.
Yeah.
3 people for 2 developers. I can only imagine what government's doing.
But
For 25 cents, I could have shown them how to flip a quarter.
Dude,
even better.
One of my recent experiences, somebody hired somebody that hired somebody that hired somebody, and he came to me asking me, "Hey, can't you write a couple of PowerShell scripts for me?" I go like, "Cool." I look at the details and I go like, "That is some ugly PowerShell that they want now." "No, dude, do me the favor, please." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna charge 4 times what it would be." So I don't get it. So I don't feel bad saying no to my buddy. He actually sold it.
I found a really good O'Reilly book. It's called Googling for Problems on Stack Overflow.
And you found it on Google.
Yeah. I saw that.
We don't have much more time. So if someone wants to talk about one of their stories, speak now.
I have a quick one, and it will be really quick. And I don't know the confirmation on the first part, but Katie Masuris is now doing consulting work, helping people manage vulnerability management programs and selection of bug bounty folks. And I don't know if she's actually left HackerOne, but it seems like that. Well, I have no confirmation from Katie that she's actually left HackerOne. But
someone needs to help someone with their vulnerability management programs.
Yes.
Better,
and
better.
That's the big thing. You know, she's like the big person. She's the one that knows about bug bounty programs.
Bug bounty programs, yeah. Vulnerability management. I mean, that can tie into. I mean, because it's an offshoot, or it's like a cousin of that sort of.
And her thing is that if you want to get involved in bug bounty programs, she'll help you pick the best one, and help you come up with the whole structure about bug bounty programs. So more than just HackerOne.
But that ties into vulnerability management as if you're paying people to find bugs, you want to be able to fix them. I mean, more SDLC in that respect, but...
And maybe again, maybe I'm overspeaking a little bit about what Katie's all about now, but
I don't know, the vulnerability go ahead, Jack.
It's not just the commercial world of bug bounties that I mean, let's remember Katie is the one who not only turned the attitude of the executives at Microsoft, turned the attitude of the executives and built helped build and deploy bug bounties at Microsoft. So she's done it in an internal capacity as well as having worked in the professional bug bounty world at HackerOne.
And the government.
Obviously, she knows, and in the government too. She's been part of helping people build their own bug bounty programs internally at Microsoft scale, which last time I checked is still pretty fucking big. To helping people with HackerOne. She certainly knows what Casey and the crew over at, having competed with Casey and the crew over at Bug Crowd are doing. So she's doing stuff, and obviously we love Katie and wish her the best. And if you need help with this stuff, there literally isn't anyone who knows as much about it as she does at the scale she does.
Yep. Completely agree. On that note, we're going to have to wrap up the show. Thanks, everyone, for participating. Apollo, thank you for the cocktails and providing a technical segment.
Anytime.
Larry, not Kevin, Jack, and Carlos, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll see everyone next week on Security Weekly. Larry, take us out.
Over and